Welcome to Tarmac Life. We're here for the fun toys, cars, SUVs, utes, flights, hotels, because the journey matters too, and even the odd motorbike when we feel like living dangerously. Epic drives and unforgettable experiences, all served up with plenty of banter and zero boring nonsense.
On tonight's show, we reveal our winners for the Car of the Year 2025. Zeekr has arrived in New Zealand. We're taking a look at their new X. We discover what's coming up for sale at this year's Sunday Drive Airborne Classic auction. Plus, we're taking a light-hearted look at what's new from the automotive world.
Kia ora and welcome to the show. We're back. Basically roughly about a month off, but we all had a break and well, some of us went a little bit further. What did you do with your break?
Well, I spent a little bit of time exploring Malaysia and doing a lot of car spotting in there, even crossing a little bit to Singapore as well. Can I just say that some of their cars that they have in there, we really should get for some reviews. There's a lot of cool stuff in there.
What about you?
Well, how kind of you to ask, and I did see photos from your holiday that looked like some mean car spotting that you did. I spent my summer instead in sunny Sydney, which included a good day trip out to Bathurst for some laps of the Mount Panorama street circuit over there.
Well, surprising you didn't ask me what I did, because I stayed at home. So I got to North Auckland and that was about it. So did do some driving and a little bit of work, but that was it.
Well, can I just say that I think it's only fitting, considering how many holidays he gets through the years, that all of us get to see.
I told you I was working, as I do working overseas. But anyway, as part of my work was actually doing the Car of the Year, and I think we left you hanging near the end of the season one, and that was to do with our nominations and also the results from our Car of the Year. And to bring you up to speed, as far as the winners go, our small lifestyle Car of the Year was, drum roll please, the Honda Civic eHev. Very practical, very versatile, and very economical as well. Very efficient, love the car.
The medium lifestyle Car of the Year, well, that went to the Audi A6 Avant e-tron, and well, it just did everything right. It was Audi at its best, the wagon, the luxury on offer, the comfort, all of that, but the fact that it was an EV that could do more than 600 kilometers on a full charge. And my goodness, what a way it drove so smoothly.
Taking things up a notch once again, we talk about the large lifestyle vehicle. And who took the crown this year is the Volkswagen ID Buzz. Again, it's all about Volkswagen being at its best. An icon of counterculture. Just look at that design. It's awesome. You win immediately as you arrive on a car looking like that. It drives amazing. It is so spacious, so cool. It just is the coolest thing around. Amazing.
Oddly, it's sustainable too, which actually brings on to the next segment, which is the most sustainable Car of the Year. And that went to the very controversial, as far as we're concerned, BMW X3. Controversial because it's basically a diesel. Don't tell anyone. But the whole holistic viewpoint of actually from go to woe or woe to go, it very much is a sustainable vehicle.
And that brings us to the most thrilling Car of the Year. Now that award went to the Mercedes-AMG GT63S. And what a memorable car that was. In the blue Magno color that we had, firstly, I mean, I'm even wearing this as a tribute to it. And then on top of that, you have that twin turbo V8, the noise, the sensation of driving that car, that was special.
And then out of all of those, for the first time ever, you got the opportunity to pick up what is the Tarmac Life 2025 Car of the Year winner. And then, drum roll, of course, the winner is the Honda Civic eHev. As Matt said, it just got so many things right. Sizing is right, tech amazing, so good to drive, so efficient. It just ticked all the boxes that it needed to take the crown for the year.
Really, thanks so much for your votes. It came from the website, from YouTube, actually across all of our platforms. And you even sent some things into the Channel 83 itself. So once again, thanks so much for your your votes. Can't wait to talk to you about this year.
Anyway, that closes the chapter of 2025, I think, on a nice high note. It's time to open up a new chapter for 2026, and I think the best way to start this off is with our first car review of the year, and it's none other than the new kid on the block, the Zeekr X.
Now, to get some of the brand heritage out of the way, Volvo, bear with me a second, is majority shareholder owned by Geely. Geely also owns Zeekr, and Zeekr as a brand was actually formed in 2021, so it very much is the new kid on the block. The name itself is a combination of Generation Z and Geek, because it is very technologically based, but what you end up is with a Zeekr, and in this model, the X. And the thing that I want to point out, 4 or 5 years to come up with or develop this is just such a magnificent achievement. On this B pillar here, this it's got a screen on it, which is really quite bizarre for many people like me to understand. So it comes up with a little smiley face that says hello, and providing you wait long enough. And also when you're charging it, it tells you what the charge is going on, and also a light bar that really accentuates its width, or 1.8 meter width. So the light bar's got 229 individual LEDs. It also comes with lightweight organic glass, so something to make the tree huggers feel good. And when you open the boot here, you get 362 litres of boot space. Not massive, but it's also dual layered, so you can actually get it quite high just by adjusting the parcel shelf here. In terms of powertrain, Zeekr New Zealand are offering either a 2-wheel drive or a 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, and both of them come with a 66 kilowatt-hour battery. We've got the 4-wheel drive, and what that gives you is a powertrain of 315 kilowatts and 543 newton meters of torque. It's very rapid too, 0 to 100 in 3.8 seconds, which is gut-wrenching and fantastic. In terms of range, the 2-wheel drive gives you 470 kilometers of range. This one does 440 in WLTP, or assume range. Now, one last party trick that the exterior's got, and that is you can communicate with people outside. So there's a little speaker down here that will do horse sounds. You can do car sounds, or even make it sound like a tractor. And the other thing is you can actually communicate with other people outside and give them a message.
Subscribe to Tarmac Life.
Top information, Harry. What else have you got for me?
I'm glad you asked, Dave, because there's just so much to talk about the interior of the X. At first, we have to start by talking about this white interior that we have here. This is one of 3 options. Zeekr put a lot of effort into making sure that all the materials that you touch and that you interact with are plush and very well designed, and just make for a very cohesive interior that doesn't look like anything here was too much of an afterthought. The whole tech experience is mostly dominated by this screen that you have here stuck in the middle of the dash, and it is, as you can see, great graphics, extremely responsive, and really highlights how much of a software defined kind of car this is. One interesting thing that you will see in this screen here is also the access to the rest mode, which is something you can use when you are out charging or maybe even taking a break inside of your car. You can set a specific timer, choose a background, and even turn off the screen if you want to, and then in this case here the car would wake me up half an hour from now, so and would even bring the seat to a rest position so I can just take a break and disconnect for a little while. The 360 camera in here, it is very responsive and it has the ability to also go into a 3D mode that you can use to really make sure that you are seeing everything that is around you. It really helps to make this car easier to maneuver while you are there on the city streets. spots. It does have access to self-parking as well. It is super easy to use. Just indicate and press the button and it'll do parallel parking and also get into tight spots for you. You will see that there are no driving modes per se in the Zeekr X. Instead, what it does is that it changes settings about how you want your acceleration to work, your regen, your steering, and then also your one pedal mode.
Okay, so honestly, I'm quite intrigued by this Zeekr X thing because as a Volvo owner and driver, I also reviewed the EX30 last year, and I have to say that was designed in Sweden as well as sharing a platform with this Zeekr X. Does it feel like something from the Volvo parts bin? Can you find a whole bunch of their logos all over the car?
Well, here comes Matt again with the parts bin, right? You will see that I will be able to rile him up just with a few facts. And they mostly come in two different natures. The first one is that it absolutely does feel like a car that has been put together by a brand that know what they're doing.
And you mean Volvo?
It could be down to the knowledge they get from Volvo, yes, but also from Lotus and the other brands that are part of the group. But the second bit is that, and that probably is what is going to rile you up, is the fact that it addresses most of what were the shortcomings that we noticed when we were reviewing the EX30, namely in regards to the space that you get at the back and in the boot. From that regard, we can pick a fight off camera. I think that it is the better EX30.
Okay, we'll keep our distance for now, but what I can guarantee you is that the EX30 probably drives better than your Zeekr.
All right, I'll let you think a little bit about that before we go to the actual driving impressions, because we will pick up the second half of this review later in the show.
It starts like any drive. Familiar road, familiar view. In a land that defies ordinary, so does the drive.
Taylor, thank you so much for opening the doors of Sunday Drive for us, not only for closing off our season last year, but also for opening up, now kicking off the new second season for the Tarmac Live TV show. What an amazing place for us to be here and just look at all the machines that we have in here. It's like a kid in a candy shop, and I would love to hear a little bit more from you as to how this came to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome back, Harry. It's been great fun having you guys film here. Sunday Drive was started maybe 6 years now, and it was developed out of what we saw as a necessity for the more enthusiast and classic car ownership in New Zealand of a platform to be able to sell their vehicles without so much friction. It was a model that we saw overseas, and noting that New Zealand has one of the highest classic car ownerships in the world per capita, we could really see a need that to build a platform.
And it's clear that you developed this showroom that is basically different from anything else that we see in the country, right? Not only is it so different, but it is also something that is peerless around the other dealers that we see across New Zealand.
Yeah, we've tried to develop something that's a bit of fun. The vehicles they're a bit more fun than your average sort of car, so the space that we've developed is kind of centered around that. We've got the arcades and motorbikes and helicopters. We've got a sports bar going on, and
yeah, why would I ever go home with games, cars, bikes, a helicopter? Like, it's the perfect spot.
We definitely welcome that. There's nearly 200 cars on display here, so definitely got the most exciting selection of cool cars in the country in one place, I'd say.
And it also gives you the ability to not only work with the cars that you own and sell, but also the consignments, and more recently even with the auctions, right?
Yeah, so the auction platform's a little bit of a newer part of the business. Started off with Beach Hop in Whangamata, doing a live auction there. Last year was very successful with a crowd of thousands for our live auction. That's really exciting. That's also led us into the Airburn Classic, so exceptional motoring festival. It's up for an international award this year as breakthrough event, car event space. I think it's actually judged by Jay Leno, which is pretty cool. And this year we're hosting the live auction there, so that's been a big project for us. We've put a lot of effort into curating a pretty exceptional lineup of cars. We're nearly at 50 vehicles. I think what we're going to have on display there and going live under the auction hammer is probably the best auction lineup I've seen in New Zealand history. So over $8 million worth of cars, and some pretty special lots in there.
Yeah, it's an incredible lineup for sure. I've been doing a little bit of the research and getting familiar with some of the cars that will go up to the block, because of course Dave cannot make it, but Matthew and myself, we are lucky enough to be able to be at Airborne, so we will be there checking out the event, because one of our other contributors is also going to be involved with the event itself. So stay tuned, because we have a little bit of content cooking up for that event coming up. But of course, with so many important cars going to the block, I know that you will probably want to spend a little bit of time talking about the ones that are the most special. I know that there is one that is very dear to you.
The Lycoming Special, that's considered the most loved and famous race car in New Zealand history. It's a remarkable looking vehicle, polished alloy. It's got some pretty special provenance. It was raced in the 60s by Jim Clark, who was considered one of the best Formula One drivers of all time, and also Bruce McLaren raced that vehicle. The steering wheel was engraved by Bruce McLaren as well. Yeah, exceptional history. It'll be very interesting to see what that sells for. We hope it stays in New Zealand due to its history and connection here.
Amazing, I absolutely agree. This car should stay in New Zealand, so get your purse strings a little bit looser and make sure that you place a bid on the event right there. But I also know that a few cars that are here are making their way to the South Island to be there on the block, and I would love to hear a little bit more about them straight from you.
Yeah, sure, let's go have a look, eh?
All right, so as for the first car, we absolutely have this beautiful thing here. I'm a big fan of the Pagoda. Tell me more about it.
This is a 1968 280 SL Pagoda. Now, this is in exceptional condition after being meticulously restored by world-renowned Lloyd Marks.
Moving further, we then have to acknowledge that amazing license plate. What do we have here?
This would be considered one of the tightest examples of a Ferrari 308 in New Zealand. It's just been fully restored and is in excellent combo, red over black Targa.
Beautiful. This one here, I must admit that I know nothing about. Enlighten me.
This is actually the first one I've seen. This is a 1970 Lotus Elan. Incredible color, it's been fully restored. Engine reconditioned, manual, roof, black leather. What more could you ask for?
And then for this one here, a little bit more modern, but I know that this has a very interesting detail about it.
Yes, this is an exciting lot. It's a 2016 Carrera 4S. It's New Zealand new, and it's probably the most exceptional condition vehicle for its age that we've ever had through the showroom. And the exciting thing is, it's going for $0 reserve, so could be a bargain there for somebody for sure.
And if someone wants to bid against me on this 911, how do they go about it?
The full catalogue's at sundaydrive.co.nz on our auction page, where it's got all the bidding options. You can bid online anywhere in the world. There's phone bidding registration, and of course in-person bidding, which we're creating a real kind of exciting, we call it like a theatre for this auction environment, which we think will be really entertaining. If you are in the area and you can make it to the Airburn Classic Festival as well, it's going to be an incredible showcase of these 50 vehicles on display in our 1,000 square metre display site, which is also open from Wednesday to Friday to the public with no charge. And then of course, if you're coming to the festival as well, that's on the Saturday and Sunday with the live auction at 5 p.m. on the Saturday at Airburn.
Amazing. I'm really looking forward to the event. If you're around, come and say hello, because we will be there. Taylor, thank you so much for opening the space for us once again. And yeah, I'm looking forward to Airburn.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
We'll see you there.
An all-new Audi Q5 era has begun. Experience bold new looks, future-ready technology, exhilarating performance, and complete flexibility. The all-new Audi Q5 range is here.
Okay, so a new segment for this season, which is called The News. We're going to share with you the things that have made us laugh, the things that have made us nostalgic, things that have really caught our attention over the last wee while. And I think the place to start off with is, while we've been on holiday, other brands have seriously been at work, and over the course of these last couple of months, we've had 4 or 5 new brands introduce themselves into the New Zealand market.
Look, I find it kind of exciting and also head scratcher for me, because there's only 5 million people here in New Zealand, 5 point whatever it is million, but it seems like there's so many cars with multiple models that are coming in. I mean, to name a few, go ahead.
And we had Zeekr, you guys have reviewed some of their stuff. We had GAC, Dongfeng, and now MG's premium brand IM is here as well.
Yeah, and there's another few that have come along in Green Lane as well.
GAIC, and there's, the list keeps on going.
And it just seems to be like I don't want to be harsh, but it seems to me like it's a bit of a dumping ground for a lot of brands. And I hate to say that they're not going to survive, or some of them are not, but there can't be that many brands in New Zealand.
And how do you differentiate yourself as a new car brand in a market that is so diluted? There are so many EVs, SUVs, and cars that sort of look and feel the same. So it will be really interesting to see that, yes, a lot of them are coming in right now, but how do you survive? How do you stay relevant?
I think the flip side of it is great for consumers. You get so many brands here at the moment that have come in. But I think it's a good time to be a buyer for a car. If you're in the market for a car now, it's a good, strong time.
I think you're absolutely right. It's a good time to be a car buyer, but admittedly a confusing time, because if you've got 40 or 50 grand in hand and you want an SUV, you think about the traditional brands that were there, plus you add on all of these brands, and realistically you're probably looking at 20 plus options, if not more. And if a car is just a mode of transport for you, do you spend 3 months every weekend test driving cars, or do you just resort to a Toyota RAV4 again?
Or you just listen to the ones we test drive and go through from there. That is a top tip. Anyway, the other thing while we were on a break and you guys were on a holiday, is the King's basically been giving out some knighthoods and some awards. It's just been tremendous, and particularly in the motorsport, and some of our friends as well.
That's correct. So 3 prominent New Zealanders in the field of motorsport received different levels of what is it called? The New Zealand Order of Merit from the King himself. So we had Scott Dixon firstly.
Yeah, Scotty.
Yep, he got the Knight Companion, so he's officially Sir Scott now.
Scott, great Scott, which is brilliant, and it's so deserving because he's such a good racer and has been on the Indy circuits for so long now, and winning. What's his
he had 59 race wins and 6 IndyCar championships to call on from.
Wow. That's tremendous. But it's not just the racing, because I've raced against him. I just want to point that out. Okay. Go-kart racing a few years ago. Yeah, it's actually on our YouTube channel if you want to check it out. He wasn't that good. But the flip side of it is his philanthropic stuff. He's been just amazing.
We had, secondly, again, somebody who's very familiar with racetracks, Tony Quinn, who received the Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit Award from the King.
Look, without him, the racetracks that we know, that know and love, Hampton Downs, down at the
Highlands, Taupo as well.
It's just picking them all up and just developing them, making them so good. But also the other stuff, his foundations, like the Street Smart, just tremendous. Good on you, Tony, just doing so well for us.
We received news that Jensen is actually coming back with the V8 GT. Now, the last time that brand officially kind of closed its doors was in 1976, although it didn't officially dissolve until 2011. But, well, it's a little bit of a blast from the past for you. How do you feel?
I love the old Jensen Interceptor, and the guys that are bringing it in, or that are developing this from the ground up, they are rediscovering the brand and bringing it out, like I said, from the ground up. I'm very excited about it. It's going to be great.
Jimny 5-door from Suzuki. Epic destinations. Legendary journeys. It starts like any drive. Familiar road, familiar view. In a land that defies ordinary, so does the drive.
First thing up is 0 to 100 speed, which, as we said, is 3.8 seconds. And to show what this is,
315 kilowatts of power, and this is how it usually looks like.
Oh, my undercarriage. I guess that brings us straight on to the performance, because straight line speed is one thing, and around town, particularly if you're going to get those lights or on-ramps, I mean, that's terrific. But it does have a little bit of an issue should you play for it or be too playful in the corners. Is that right?
Absolutely. It is a car that will give you everything you want when you are doing the on-ramp sort of run. But then as you start to lean on it a little bit more, you will see that it is just throwing a dome on top of you to keep you safe at all times. It'll cut power, it will break the wheels to bring you back to the trajectory, and just finding a very sort of polite way of saying you should not be doing this. Even going as far as to turning on the emergency recording. We have done that 11 times during this drive that we have doing here, just showing that it does not want to be driven hard.
As far as the tech goes, I have to bring up, because obviously we're going to the Tesla, and this is obviously sitting in Tesla territory or vice versa, and having the extra screens for visibility for me was a real plus. The head-up display is awesome, and although the instrument cluster is small and slightly off kilter, which is going to really annoy some OCD people, it gives you that extra bit of information that I thought was lacking in a Tesla.
It's just a little bit of information that is always available to you without having to look at the left. Big improvement. Like, I really appreciated them doing that.
Steering wise, the feedback is there. It's slightly removed, and I guess you'd get that with an EV or modern EV that's out there now. So I'm not too upset about that. Steering wheel itself, I kind of like it. It is very Volvo-esque. But also the buttons are there. They're easy to play with, easy to get involved with, and I kind of like the hidden ones that you can set up for your own personal pleasure, as it were.
It keeps the visual very minimalistic, and you still get access to a few more things you can interact while driving. And you're right, there you can see a little bit of Volvo here and there. And if you are going to learn from the other brands in the group, right, you might as well apply those learnings to this car, because at the end of the day, the impression that the Zeekr gave me is that they have gone the extra mile to make it feel different than the generic EV SUV formula that you get out there. That there is not a single thing that you have to make an excuse for in here in terms of the materials. Everything feels cohesive. Of course, in this combination of colors, which is not what I would go for, but it still has this wow factor, and it just, yeah, it feels like a very well put together and well thought through product.
Okay, so all things being said, I'm curious to know, how did that Zeekr X drive?
Are you really? Come on.
I don't think that you can handle the truth. All right. But I think that I am finished riling you up, because that's probably where the differences between the two cars sort of, if not finish, they take a little bit of a turn to the other side. And that is, of course, because of the stuff that we addressed during the review. This is no sports car. This is not a car that is trying to wow or engage you from the driving experience. It is an extremely competent EV, but it's not an engaging car, not a car that wants to be playful or wants you to go over the limits. It gets the day-to-day done really well. It's actually quite fast considering all the performance it has. It's just not something that you would be sort of eager to do on a Sunday drive.
So basically, it's a Volvo. So there you have it. We've geeked out on a Zeekr, we've been knighted by the king, and also we've brought the hammer down on a Sunday drive. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Hello. Hello. What?
And then out of all of those, you get the opportunity to then pick. You got. Yeah. And then out of all of those, you got the opportunity to then.
You.
What did I do wrong?
You're not putting the emphasis
on you. Okay. And then out of all of those.
We picked it anyway, regardless of what you did.
And then out of all of those, you got the opportunity.
You!
Well,
not you.
Is it not enough?
No emphasis.
More emphasis.
You.
Okay.
God damn it, you.
The winner was the Honda Civic
Civic.
You.
Choose what brings you joy. Choose adventure. Choose something extra. Choose to live large, even when driving small. Choose to roar. Choose to lead the charge by going electric, or the best of both worlds with a plug-in hybrid. Choose to connect while disconnecting with the world around you. Life's a joy when you live it on your own terms. What will you choose? The BMW X range.